Sorry, Lana?
I was going to say to kind of let them know that it's 100% real and it does happen.
Yeah. Exactly, and not to pretend that it's something that I haven't dealt with. I mean, you and me talk sometimes, and we both are comfortable with what we're talking about because we've had to deal with it. But there's a lot of other people who wouldn't be able to get into that conversation and feel like they're going to say something wrong. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's important, to let people know that it's better to talk about it and to say things freely. I mean, I have people around me who don't mention suicide, don't mention death, don't mention anything like that because they're feeling like they're going to trigger me in some way. And I think it's important to let them know that it's all right to say that and to bring it up so they know it's all right to say that. So when they're talking around you do have that freedom to feel what you want to say instead of feel like you have to be cautious of what you say to trigger other people as well. So it's quite a big task to get a comfortable conversation about suicide, to let people know that it's good. But I find that in a big group, a lot of people might feel uncomfortable, but that one person who needs that conversation, who wants to hear the things you're saying, will come back to you later. And that's the person you need to reach. And I think that's why it's so important. You might get a lot of rejections, but that one person is the one person you want to talk to. And I think that's the most important part of it.
Well, it's like that, the big Australian Are You OK Day, and I think Matt and me were talking about this once. It's that just go up to people and just go, are you okay? If you've got a friend that you think is not doing too well, just that simple little comment of "Are you okay?" can sometimes trigger them to tell you no, I'm not. But if we just go, how's things going? Well, generally people might go, if I'm incorrect, Matt, just stop me. Some people go, yeah, no, it's all good. But if you just bluntly, are you okay? And a lot of times
the instant reaction is normally the most honest. So.
Yeah. But also, just to add into that, Andy, that campaign's incredibly important for the second steps. Step 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4 are really important. So it's about are you okay, and it's raising that awareness, but then also the follow through. We have to follow up on those conversations instead of just kind of asking that initial one. But it is a great campaign in the sense that at least we're now taking that courage and taking that step to directly ask the question of are you okay?
Yeah. And so, can you just mention those other steps in case there's people that are not quite sure of it?
Matt, you can chime in on this. I think it's are you okay, and then checking in again if they're sure. I can see him quickly Googling it, I think. And then but then step 3, connection of some sort, and then finding resources or linking to other support services.
And I think that's pretty much what Mindfull Australia does, isn't it, Matt? Like similar to those steps, guiding people where to go.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we make sure that, as I said before, we're all as qualified as one another. This predicament that we're in this country is due to the fact that, and every country that I've been to and spoke in, is all the same, because we point people in the direction of a one set menu for help and therapy. And that's medication and therapy, instead of giving people the understanding that every single person in this country is qualified as one another to offer what people need to provide that hope. And like Mel said before, if we don't have hope, we don't continue. When we understand that the human being's wired for love, belonging, connection, we have the ability to offer hope. And when we can all understand that, then we stop handballing people off to doctors, to clinicians, to therapists, to psychologists, to psychiatrists, and we start showing up with our ears and our ability to understand and identify what they're experiencing in that moment. When we ask a question like, are you okay? Even if they tell us a lie, we still have the ability to read their body language, to read what they're experiencing in that moment. Now, people can tell lies all the time, and I get conversations on conversations on conversations of parents telling me, Matt, I can't make a breakthrough. They don't tell me what's going on. Can you ring my kid? No, I won't. You contact your kid, you speak to your kid, you provide the comfort for your kid to open up. Instead of pointing the finger of all the time and saying that they won't open up, they're not telling me the truth, I keep doing everything, I'm doing everything and nothing's working. Look at the 3 fingers that are pointing back at me going, blame, 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 yet I'm to blame. I'm not the one holding space. I'm not the one providing comfort. All the time we're so I'm passionate about this because it pisses me off, is in this country and everywhere I go around the world, we're so expectant of the person who's unwell to scream from the rafters that they're not well. Instead of being the people that are well and asking the questions the right way, to keep showing up with the discipline, to encourage good behaviour and to mimic and role model the right things that we do as loved ones so that they can follow suit. And we don't do a good job of it.
Can I add to that? As much as I think, like Matt said, you know, you can be sent to like a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, all of that kind of stuff. I still think there's something huge to be said about the genuine support and understanding from your loved ones, like your family and your friends. I think for me personally, if it wasn't for my family and friends and them, you know, really being able to kind of understand, well, obviously they won't be able to fully understand, but for them to just say the right things and do the right things and accept and support in the right way, then I wouldn't honestly be alive today. And I think there's still something like so huge about the support from those around you, and not just, you know, mental health experts. Just, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Lauren, would you mind if I ask you a question? And you feel free to not answer it or answer it. Because I think you mentioned to me your mum was very close by when the incident happened, yeah?
Yeah.
And how does that affect your mum, like, now?
So that night, I just went up and left the house, and my mum, out of pure gut instinct, kind of knew something was wrong and followed me down to the train tracks. Unfortunately, my mum, trying to get to me, saw me get hit by the train, and I just remember the screams from that night, like they'll just stay with me forever. I think for my mum now, personally, I wouldn't say regret, but I think it definitely 100% affected her and affected the rest of my family in ways that I possibly couldn't understand. But I think it just goes to show that when something like this does happen, it just really does affect other people.
And look, you know, thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure that's where, you know, everyone else on here, like, you're giving us the version of, like, someone's seen it happen, they thought you were gone, and then you've survived, thank God, and you're here to share it. And we're getting this story of what it's like for people, you know, who are left with that void in their life, but now you're there to see it, and, you know, just what that pain leaves everybody and whatever guilt they're dealing with. But on the outside of that, then it's so powerful, like Matt said before, and Mel, that you can now share that with people and share it on platforms, and hopefully have others, you know, something. It doesn't take much in a human being to trigger something to go, wow,
yeah,
sheesh, you know. It doesn't mean, you know, like 100 people in the room and everyone's ignoring it. Everybody's taking it in, and there could be people, I know Matt's had examples of that when he's been speaking overseas, that people have come up after and said, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. And thank God he said something, you know, in a particular way that it triggered someone who came up and just said, hey, guys, you know. And if he didn't say that, what would have happened? We don't know, you know. So that's pretty much what, you know, all you people on here, amazing people, are doing for the world. And, you know, whether it's dealing with bullying, or, you know, bullying comes, I know we all aware of this, but bullying comes in different ways. I never considered myself a bully, and then I went, hang on a minute, I think I need to think about that. I was with my partners, because I would be defensive and angry because something I wasn't dealing with my dad, which was nothing to do with him anyway. In the end, it was just me, the fingers pointing right at me. But I was verbally bullying, when I would get angry and yell and scream, and people were like, oh my God, he's going off. That's bullying, you know. And that's, you know, it's difficult to deal with that. It's difficult to be the person who's caused it. And, you know, like, that can lead into depression, you know. But thank God, like all of you said, and Matt said, I've just learnt to, you know, understand that it was actually no one's fault why I was angry. It actually, still have no idea why, but then I took the blame from everybody else, and it freed me up with a lot of work, like Matt said, relentless work every single day. And I'm sure you, Carlos, and Lauren and Doug all know that, and Mel, it's relentless. You can't let a day go by without caring about yourself, loving yourself, and also passing that on to other people. Like, I think it was today I was driving around LA, and you get a lot of homeless people at intersections and hanging off the end of a freeway when you come off asking for money. And today I actually I got my wallet. I usually give him a couple of bucks here and there, but only had $60 in there, and I just gave him 20, and he just went, "Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's cool." And I drove off. The thing I didn't do was then go into like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. I gave that guy $20, wow, I feel really good." I just let it go, because I don't know what that $20 is going to mean to him. But all I know is that just the fact that I could give him something that made him smile, and I could see it in his eyes. He was really grateful. That's it. End of story. Doesn't need to be anything else after that, And I think that's what you are all doing. You're just giving people something that they can just feel that touch of love, and realize that, no, everybody's not like I think some people are, or certain people. People are full of love. They are full of love. You just see it when a catastrophe happens. Everyone sticks together.